everybody. It's Wendy and Ian here from Cloud 2020. This is our Christmas edition of 2020 Insights, and we hope you enjoy it. So we're having a look back over the last year, really, and what a year it's been. I mean, we've had so many changes personally and in business sense. I mean, I think everybody has been going through it, and I think there's been a lot of rewards for it, but there's also been quite a lot of hard times. And obviously, we can't talk about the year without at least mentioning that. But I think as we reach the end of it, my sense of it, Ian, I don't know if this is right for you, is that there have been a lot of very good changes that have happened because of this awful event that we've had, COVID-19, you know, and we don't want to kind of lose sight of those, really. So I'd say one of the things for me has been, you know, the speed that we've seen of digital transformation, really. I don't know what your impression of that is.
Yeah, that's right, Wendy. As always, we mustn't forget those people that it's had such a negative impact on, and you know, our hearts go out to them, and very much so, you know. But you know, if we look at some of the positives that come out of this, then they've been huge. And as you say, the rate of digital transformation has been astounding. You know, as you know, as I'm sure a lot of people watching this know, we concentrate on Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform. So we don't do all that Microsoft 365 and Azure piece, but a lot of our partners do. And talking to them, you know, I sort of fascinating conversations. So I was talking to one guy, he said, I've been working for 2 years in this company to try and get them to convince them to move to the cloud and all the benefits. And he said, and I got a phone call and they said, you're right, we want it on Monday. Yeah, we want it on Monday.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And literally on Monday, that from Friday to Monday, digital transformation, you know, and some of these people have been working 24/7 and hats off to them, to literally enable businesses to continue operating in remote dispersed ways. And as we know, you know, we're doing that bit with insurance companies. So gone are the days where you have 50 agents sat in a room all with headsets on the call. They're all sat at their dining room tables now, you know. So people have to understand not just the technology, but the management and people piece about managing the same number of people, but in completely different places, not even the same towns. You know, that's astonishing, really. But I think there's a huge amount of positives that have come out of it, and I think that the digital transformation piece has just been astounding. You know, I think that what we've found is that a lot of people have said, right, okay, we've got to move. We've got to move to Exchange in the cloud. We've got to move to Azure. We've got to put a load of stuff in SharePoint. Yeah, what have you. And whilst we're at the right-hand edge of digital transformation normally, a lot of our customers have said, well, if we're going to do it, let's do it.
Yeah,
let's go the whole way.
Yeah.
You know, it's suddenly the scales have fallen from our eyes and going, wow, okay, well, let's just keep going and let's do the whole thing. You know.
Yeah.
So
I think during the period too, there's been a real recognition of how important sales and marketing is for I mean, everybody knows sales are important, but actually that understanding around marketing, we've seen that grow hugely. And of course, there's a platform to enable that, and then enable that joined upness, because traditionally sales and marketing can get a little bit disconnected and feel like one department can feel like the other department is too soft, doesn't do anything, and the other department feels like the marketing department can feel like the sales department just muck up the leads that they're generating for them. But I think so we've seen a more inclusive way of working, I think, developing over this period that kind of spreads out from functionality to understanding that remote working can't work in the same way as when you go to an office and you sit at a desk for 8 hours. Remote working means there's this kind of shift between, oh, I'm doing this and now I'm doing that, and I'll put my washing on actually in between. And I think a lot of people felt the benefits of a bit more of a work-life balance. Certainly initially, I'm very aware as I say that there are people who have not been able to work. They have not been able to work, and obviously that's a very difficult situation to be in. But I think, you know, we're seeing apps come to the fore now as well the
Yeah.
Power Platform coming to the fore. And I'm wondering if some of those problems might not be addressed in the future with some of that technology.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think once it's been what 8, 9 months is it now? I'm
Yeah,
losing track.
yeah,
Um, and a huge amount has happened. I think that in a way we're only still realizing what we could do uh,
yes,
with the platforms and making life easier for people. I truly believe that. I think that people are waking up and going, okay, fine, we kind of got there. If only we had something that could do this little bit or whatever, or feedback. And I think really back to your point, a lot of the edges are being blurred around functionality now and responsibilities and what have you. So as you say, marketing into sales, much more of a blur. And I think now marketing is very much, recently been a lot more about communicating with your customers, obviously, but also your suppliers, and
yes,
letting them
yeah,
know what you're trying to achieve and how they can support you and what you're looking to gain from them. And then obviously the sales, that's very much around, trying to meet with your customers' requirements, but when you're not even speaking to them anymore.
yeah,
We've noticed that dramatically. No
yeah,
longer spending time driving around the country or sitting on trains going to see people. It's all happening online now, which, as a fact, in a way, is a lot more efficient. But it just means you've got to work at it very differently and be able to communicate a different way than, because you're not sitting in the same room anymore.
no,
And that's a good and a not such a good scenario to be in. And then we find things like in moving to projects and project management and the interface with finance, and more and more people need that seamless approach to go on. I
yeah,
think the bit that I think the bit we still haven't probably got a true understanding of, although people are aware of it, is how to maintain a team. And yeah,
yeah,
great. I mean, the explosion of things like Zoom, obviously, but Teams, within Dynamics and Outlook and the whole collaboration thing, I think it's been hugely powerful. And we just, again, hats off to the development team at Teams, because they suddenly had to produce so much more
yeah.
in an incredible development time, which will telescope right down, and that was phenomenal.
I have to say, just picking up on your point there, Ian, sorry, I didn't mean to cut across you there,
Oh,
but Microsoft's response, it made me proud to be a Microsoft partner. The way that they stepped up to this, made Teams free for a number of months in order to enable people with remote working. And then on the back of that, with all the issues around people working, they've created this huge e-learning platform that offered free learning for people that want to make career changes, to build the people for the future who can actually enable this new world that we're looking at. And I know we're going to talk about the new world that we're looking at in our New Year broadcast, and not now, but I think actually the other thing that I'd say is the idea that marketing needed to be polished, or that we all needed to be polished. We couldn't do that in a pandemic. We were looking for authenticity. We were looking for contact. We were looking for all of those, to see people's values reflected in the way they treated the people in their workplace. And we
yeah,
saw that very much. There were some quite big names that were really getting slated because of how they responded. They carried on putting dollar before people. And
yeah,
suddenly we all knew that all we ever really had was other people.
yeah.
And they were precious.
Absolutely. I so sign up to what you're saying. One thing that I was really and people could say, well, this is not being exactly altruistic, but Microsoft, if I've been to Seattle, I've been to that huge campus, 42,000 people. That's a major town on its
Yes,
own,
yes,
and a lot of those people are hourly paid. And Satya Nadella just said, we're going to continue to pay you even if you're hourly paid, which was huge.
yeah,
Those all those people running the canteens and the shops and the buses and the cars, because they do support a major town, didn't need them anymore.
yeah,
And they were all hourly paid. But he said, no, our commitment to you is that we're going to continues to pay. And I thought that was huge. That was saying, even the guy that drives the bus between the campus buildings is important to us, and we want you still to be there when we come back. So I thought that was really important, and I admire that. Every 2 weeks, I'll run a webinar for the institute directors, for the chartered directors, and we keep coming back to this thing about, okay, fine, the whole world's changed to working from home really well, but there's a bit missing around the people, and we're not even quite sure what that is yet.
Yes.
Someone's going to create a brilliant PhD thesis out of it, and understand how we maintain it. We have to work very hard to keep our team, together and fired up and enthusiastic, and more importantly, get that whole inspiration thing that we get so well when we're in the office together, to try and maintain that. And it's not easy, and I don't think we've cracked it yet. And I don't think anyone's really cracked it properly, and we're going to have to learn over the next few months how we manage that.
Yeah, but I think we've got some things to have been proud of really in this last year internally, not to blow our own trumpet, but we've taken on 3 new members of staff, one of whom we haven't even met in real life. That's Katie, who supports us on these calls and does a brilliant job with us. And, have to say hats off to Katie for managing this so well for us, and being a great asset. And then, our 2 new trainee technicians, Liam and Ethan, who've really come on board remotely, staying connected, who are really rock solid about being there. I don't get the sense that they're, off playing games on computers or whatever. And I think that might have been one of the things that would stop people from embracing the idea of remote working before. So we have a real sense that I'm proud of how we've managed to do that. And then of course we've got Toby and Paul who've kept the back line running, and Tracy with the admin side and finance, and Dave supporting us. Now he's back from Australia, having got stuck in Australia for almost a year. A fabulous, fantastic team that I feel we can all be proud of being a member of. And there's Greg as well, who's also holding the back line for us brilliantly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I say it's heartwarming to see the new people who've joined us. Katie on this call, and Liam and Ethan, because to be fair to them, they all 3 of them grasped the challenge and went out and in their different ways basically came to us through different channels and said, and showed their enthusiasm and came in, and just all 3 of them hit the deck running and doing amazing stuff. So that's really heartwarming. That's bringing new people into the industry as well, which is important, because I think with the momentum behind the whole Dynamics and Power Platform thing, there's going to be a challenge for partners to find enough talent to service that need. And I think that's a problem for next year. It's something I've been bleating on about to in various forums for a little while now, that we need to think about that. But we've had 3 fabulous examples come to work for us, and the only slight problem we've got is I think it's Katie is responsible for me having to wear this stupid hat. But I'll let her off that.
I'll just point to my hat. Because I wish you to be wearing that hat, Ian, but somehow that ended up with you with the Christmas jumper.
Exactly.
Very good, suits you. So I guess it just remains to us to wish everybody a very good Christmas, or however they're celebrating the festive season, obviously, because there are many other ways to celebrate. But we just, I would like to wish everybody a little bit of peace and joy, because we've earned it this year. We really have.
Yeah, I think you're right. We'd like to thank our customers, obviously, our partners and suppliers, distribution, Microsoft, other third-party suppliers as well, that just enable us to do what actually we really enjoy doing. So, but a big helpful thanks to the team. Massive great team that really enjoy working with them, and we do some great stuff, and it's great fun. So yeah, everyone have a healthy and happy holiday season, and we look forward to seeing you in the new year.
Yep. Hello, everyone.